Last week, I shared the story of how we bought Car 306, 120-year-old rail car that my dad found rotting in a neighbor's barn, bought it for $3,000, moved it 10 miles, then fully restored it into a one-of-a-kind luxury stay. Well, there's more to the story. The original train depot here in the town of Deary that Car 306 would have stopped at a century ago came up for sale unexpectedly. So of course we had to find a way to buy this one, fully restore it as well, and found a caboose somewhere else, which you'll see in a minute. Let's go check out the train depot. You're gonna meet my little brother David, who's helping with some of the current improvements. Let's go. Hey, David. So the last time I was in here, this was pretty much an empty shell.
Yeah, we've changed things since then for sure.
When we bought and restored the depot a couple of years ago, we weren't quite sure what to do with the large room at the end, the space that had originally stored cargo for the trains. At one point, my mom set up her quilting and handcraft shop there. But when another building in town became available, what had been the old diner, we bought and restored that one too, then moved her store there since it offered more space and was better suited for retail.
Last fall, I got inspiration to turn this into a shared space, a lounge for guests at all of our train properties. It's got fast Wi-Fi if you need to work or unplug. Read a book here, play a game, make a coffee, snacks. Just a nice, cozy, warm space for them to relax.
What is it, like a 7-8 minute drive, I think, straight from the train car?
About 8 minutes, yep. About 2.5 miles out of town.
And being Idaho, of course, half of the year it's gonna be cold and snowing outside, so
Exactly.
to have a spot inside, I love the potbelly stove.
So this middle room here, this was the Stationmaster room originally. And obviously the depot, as you know, was up across the train tracks, which are behind here originally, kind of catty corner to where it is now. Built right at the turn of the 20th century. It was used for about 40 years before the town was modernized.
And that's when Car 306 would have been stopping daily.
The Stationmaster had his office in here, as well as the ticketing office. And he had this cool bay window here where he could sit at his desk and look down the tracks both ways and see when the train was coming. So he was the first to know when the train was coming, let the passengers know in the next room, which is called the passenger room.
One of the blessings of this project was discovering that, like so many buildings during the 60s and 70s, this one had been completely covered over, inside and out, with ugly but functional facades. Vinyl siding outside, drop ceilings, carpet and drywall inside, all hiding and preserving the original beauty of wood boards, paneling, and hardwood floors underneath.
They had dropped the ceilings down to 8 feet, but just left this all underneath, left all the ceiling beadboard, beautiful wood.
And these stoves are the exact same one that we have in the train car.
Yep.
It's a gas-powered stove, so anybody can use it with a flip of a button, but it looks great and anchors you in that Victorian era.
Yeah, it totally fits the space and it's super functional as well. The passenger room, and as the name suggests, passengers would wait in here, kind of the waiting room. They actually had a ticketing counter through the wall. I said the ticketing counter was in that Stationmaster room across the wall. So kind of administrative offices in there, and then waiting room in here. And a cool thing that sets this room apart is all these little black marks on the floor. And that's where the loggers' cork-heeled boots, as in the train car, would mark the floor as they waited here.
So the Stationmaster, in other words, wasn't wearing cork-heeled boots.
Correct. Bit of a city slicker, as they say.
So this room and then the other one we were just in, both rent out for the same rate?
Correct. They're almost exact mirrors of each other. This one does have a little more room, but that one has the cool bay window there onto the tracks. So pros and cons with both.
In full disclosure, my favorite part about the depot isn't actually the depot itself. It's what's sitting just behind the building, the mustard yellow caboose.
Towards the end of the restoration of Car 306, this story enters in. Now, I didn't get to take part because I had just moved back to Texas right when we were done with the train car and started building Live Oak Lake. But I love this story because Dad was driving along 3 hours north of here and just spots this old caboose on the side of the road in the trees.
Yeah.
Stops, talks to the owner, and I think he was using it as a dog kennel at the time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Gets the guy to sell it to him for $5,000, I want to say, and then we move it down to here. Tell me about the restoration of this one.
Yeah, this was a fun one, and I really like how it turned out. We got it down here. Wasn't terribly hard to move. Much smaller car than the train car. It was in relatively good condition, other than the middle section, which we ended up totally removing and replaced it with this cupola and side cupola, which was exactly how it was originally, actually. So
Because it was rotten.
Exactly, that whole center section was totally unusable. So not only could they see down the train, you know, as a caboose should, over the top, that cupola, but it's also got a side cupola to look down at a lower level. So sleeping quarters in there for the last 20 years, and then, like you said, a dog kennel. And we can go inside and check out the inside restoration as well.
Let's do it. Original steps.
Original steps, yeah.
Such a fun space in here. This is interesting. This was all the original paint that was starting to peel, but you were able to just sand it down and then seal it.
Right, yep. So we've got beautiful fine grain wood in there, probably virgin timber, and then they'd put a couple layers of paint on it over the years, but we sanded down, removed anything hazardous, and clear coated the whole thing just
It's
to
got a
preserve
great,
it.
It's almost like art, patina on it. That's much better than sanding the whole thing down. In other places, like underneath here, you can sand it all down.
Right. So originally this cupola would have been here as well as the side cupola. They did modify it for about 50 years, you know, in the middle of the car's life, back to a normal car.
My dad bought the car for $5,000, and to get it moved about 100 miles cost around $7,000. The restoration itself totaled $42,000. So all in, we bought, moved, and completely restored this caboose for $54,000.
What is this place rent for per night?
It starts at $175 a night.
$175. But in some ways, again, my personal bent is this is my favorite space here because it's so unique. Like, where else are you going to stay in a train caboose?
Exactly, it's a small compact space, but with the shared area across the street there, you've got tons of value here, and you can go over, hang out, work, whatever you want with plenty of space over there, and then come here for privacy if you want.
So there's the common space inside, but now we're doing a project outside,
Right.
Gardens, wellness. Let's go check that part out.
I can't wait to show you. That's my passion there. We've had this empty canvas back here for the last 5 years, you know, of owning the property. So as you can see, we're under construction now.
We've always dreamed of transforming this backyard area into an outdoor communal space where guests can soak in the beauty and charm of our little town. We plan to have seating for 40 to 50 guests so we can host dinners catered by our bakery and cafe, the Pie Safe, which is just 1 block down the street. The plan also includes garden beds full of herbs, vegetables, and fresh flowers for our local community. And finally, nestled among the garden, we'll create a year-round wellness area, complete with a barrel sauna or 2, a cold plunge, and a wood-fired hot tub.
Over the last 5 years, the train car has been the star of the show when it comes to these train-related stays. I want to see this place become the star.
There's no reason why it shouldn't be symbiotic though, because each location, whether it's these 2 suites, the train car or the caboose, offers a different perspective on the original rail car experience, and each one tells a little different story.
Yeah.
So I think when guests come and stay in any of them, they're going to be incentivized to come back to a different one. By the way, I love these roses and all of the trees, the lawn. Now that it's had a couple years to actually mature, it feels great, and it feels like it's always been here with the rock wall and all that growing up.
Looking back, the timing seems almost providential. We were up to our eyeballs in the restoration of Car 306. But that's exactly what allowed us to see the greater potential of the depot, and I'm so glad we said yes and took this project on too. That's the story of the Deary Train Depot, a story that's still being written.
Well, David, thanks for the tour. This is awesome to see. I'll be back in another year from now when the garden and wellness area are complete. Maybe I'll bring Helen and the boys and we'll stay here.